reporter with LEEA, and I'm here with Rory Rorison, who is the Member Engagement Manager for LEEA. Rory, you're coming up to 9 years now working with LEEA. What does your job entail? What does that mean, Member Engagement Manager?
Well, I'm the Member Engagement Manager for Scotland, Northern England and Ireland. And I cover probably around about 230 head office companies. What I do, I either visit them face to face or I do online audits. My role it's quite important because I ensure that they comply to the rules of the association, along with the regulations that's required to be safe while following good working practice.
It's quite a tough role then, keeping on top of all these standards. How do you begin that interaction with members?
It's really about getting to know the members. It's about being in touch with them, knowing actually what they want. For instance, if I go into a company, I might give you a little example on, there was one particular company I went in and the girl was actually shaking when I went in. And I think it's the big dreaded auditor. They think that you're going to go in with a beaten stick. How I overcame that was I said to her, listen, I says, are you okay? That was the first thing I asked. She looked really nervous. I said, look, I says, I didn't say if I find a problem. I said, if we find a problem. I said, if we find a problem, I says, we'll fix it together. And she's calmed down. And it's having a way with people. I'm a people person and I haven't had any problems so far. Obviously, you get the odd one, but, you know, I've got a really good rapport with my members.
And what kind of things are you looking for as part of the audits?
I'm looking that they comply to the regulations. Initially, I'll go in and I'll check like the management structure, the family tree. I'll check that they've got a good technical department. Then I'll go on and check documentation, reports at their examination, UK conformance certificates along with EC declarations. I'll then have a walk around the premises. I'll look at various items on the shop floor. It's amazing actually what you find on the shop floor when you're walking around. You can be in the office and they can be squeaky clean and then you go on the shop floor. First impressions count for a lot when you go into a company, you know, because if it looks good, when you go in around the shop floor, it's normally good and it reflects. It's not always the case the other way around.
What kind of feedback do you find nowadays people are asking you?
I get a lot of feedback from asking training questions. At the same time, I push a lot of stuff LEEA. I sell LEEA. I'm very passionate about LEEA. Feedback from my members, I get a great deal of satisfaction when a member says to me, it is quite often, they'll say, thanks very much for your advice and your expert opinions on what I'm giving them.
And of course, you yourself, you have a background in the Royal Navy. Can you tell us a bit about what you did before joining LEEA?
I started my working life off as a coal miner, 1,570 feet down, and I was 6 miles out underneath the North Sea, extracting millions of tons of coal for our power generation systems. Just as a young boy, it was my first job. I was what you call a mining graft apprentice. I finished my apprenticeship. I was actually on the coal face for 6 weeks as what you call a power loader. And then I walked into the careers office one day and I joined the Royal Navy. Started off my career on the Polaris submarines, and the whole 26 years I served on submarines. Latterly, I used to lift 60-ton Trident missiles, and I used to configure the nuclear warheads on top of those. That's how I got into the lifting industry. I then went to work I left the Navy on the Friday after 26 years, and I went to work for a big defence company. And I was like the Lola compliance officer within them, and LEEA used to come and audit me. And that's when I got to know LEEA. I was looking for training one day for my guys online, and I seen they were looking for a technical officer. Obviously, I applied for the role, and the rest's history.
Oh, it's come full circle.
I felt as though I'd been working in the same thing for a long, long time, and the job with LEEA really appealed to me. When I actually got the job, I was delighted to join the LEEA team, but all of a sudden I was thrust into oil and gas, wind energy, designers, manufacturers, examiners, and it was a big learning curve for me. And I realised, although it was a very complex job I had prior to that, I'd been living in kind of like a bubble. So I was delighted to be in there, and still delighted today.
And what changes have you seen from when you started 9 years ago to now?
It's a lot more proactive. I see a lot of more paperwork that I go through. Changes wise, manpower. I cover a much bigger area than I do now, which I don't mind doing. No 2 days are the same in LEEA.
So what will you be looking forward to next?
Well, we have GLAD, which is the Global Lifting Awareness Day, which takes place on July the 13th of this year. And what that entails is it's lots and lots of companies and people, anybody interested in lifting, come together that day, and we have various presentations and videos online, which is a really good day. And then on the 21st and the 22nd of November, we have LiftX 23. That's taking place in Liverpool this year.
Well, congratulations, and thank you very much for your time today.